Welcome friends, in this video we are going to look at question 7 of mathematics paper 2 for the year 2023, and this is the first question from section B. The question reads, the diagram shows the positions of 3 points PQ and R. PQ is equal to 7.1 kilometers, PR 23.8 kilometers, and angle RPQ 92.7 degrees. Now let's look at the first question. Calculate Roman number 1, the distance RQ to two decimal places RQ. So the first step that we are going to undertake here is, first we are going to represent each side with its corresponding side, corresponding angle. So this angle P corresponds with the distance RQ. We put small letter P here. Then Q, here we are going to have small letter Q. Angle R, here we have small letter R. Now we in most cases, or we can just say in all the questions, you are not going to be told the rule that you are going to use. So we don't know if you are going to use a cosine rule or sine rule, but the information given will determine the rule that we are going to use. So look at this one. We have been given two distances and asked to find this third distance. So as long as you are finding the third distance, then you are supposed to use the cosine rule. Or sometimes what we can say is, we have this S, let's say this S is a side, here we have angle, here we have side. So we have S, A, S. Or maybe let me put them in this arrangement. So we have one side, another side, and one angle. Then the question is, we want to find the third side. So as long as you are finding the third side, you are supposed to use the cosine rule. So now how can we apply this cosine rule? So the formula for the cosine rule is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos c, the first letter, which is cos A. Now we are supposed to use the letters that we have. So we have the letters P, Q, and S. So the first letter that you are supposed to write at first must be the letter that is representing the distance. So the distance that we want is RQ. And the letter that is representing RQ is letter P. So you begin by writing, we have P squared is equal to. Then we are going to write the R. So say R squared plus Q squared minus 2. You write this one, R, Q, then cos C. The angle given is P, so cos P as our formula. So we can now proceed. P squared is equal to, the distance for R is 7.1 kilometers squared plus C, for Q 23.8 kilometers squared minus 2 times 7.1 times 23.8, then cos 92.7. We can now expand. So let's expand. So we can now say 7.1 times 7.1, which is 7.1 squared. So I'm getting 50.41 plus 23.8 raised to the power 2. I'm getting 566.44. Then let's multiply. We have negative 2 times 7.1 times 23.8. Then we have cos 92.3. 92.3 but 7. Okay, so I'm getting positive, since we know that a cos of any number greater than 90 will give you a negative, so negative times negative, here we have positive. So if you have 90 and above, you need to change this into plus, so plus 15.92. Okay, now we can add, so say 50.41 plus 566.44 plus 15.92. So I'm getting 632.77. Then we take the square root, also here the square root, which is our final answer is 25.15. Since we are told correct two decimal places, we just need two numbers after decimal, so kilometers as our final answer. So this is the distance that we have here. Okay, so let me get rid of these. So we are done with this question. We can now proceed to Roman number 2, area of the triangle PQR. Now for the formula for the area, the original area is equal to half AB sine C. So we are going to say area is equal to half. Now we are going to use the letters that we are using, which is RQ here. Now we only are going to use two distances. So this distance, the distance opposite to the angle, must not be used whenever you are finding the area. So the distances that we are going to use are R and Q. So R times Q, then sine the angle is what? P. So area is equal to half. R is 7.1 multiplied by 23.8, then sine 92.7. So area 7.1 times 23.8, then sine 92.7 divided by 2. So my final answer is area is equal to 84.39, which is 0.4 kilometers squared. So remember, the area must be squared. Okay, so we move on to the shortest distance of P from RQ, giving your answers correct to the two decimal places. So the shortest distance is, we want to move from P touching the distance RQ. So the shortest distance, the formula is shortest distance is equal to 2 times the area divided by the base. So area is 84.4 divided by the base is where the line from this letter is touching. So it is touching RQ. So what is the distance for RQ is 25.15. So divided by 25.15. So let's 8.4 times 2. I'm getting 168.9724 over 25.15. So divided by 25.15, I'm getting 6.71 kilometers, since we are told two decimal places. So this is our final answer. We can now move on to question B. So question B, solve the equation 3 times theta is equal to 89. For the range, we have 0 to 180. So we have 3 tan theta is equal to 89. First, we need to divide by 3 so that we just remain with tan. Then we are going to find the inverse of tan. So 89 divided by 3. I'm getting 29.6666666666 up to 7. Then we do the same. We shift the tan to the right side, leaving us theta is equal to the tan of inverse of this number, 29.66666667, which is, let's do the final answer. We'll say shift, then tan of this number. So I'm getting 88.1. So 88.1 if I round it off degrees. So this is our final answer. And if you look at the trig, if you look at the quadrants, we have the 4 quadrants represented by the cast. So we have the cast here. So C, A states that in the first quadrant all are positive. Sine is positive, cos is positive, and tan is positive. So first quadrant. In the second quadrant, sine is positive. In the third quadrant, tan is positive. Then in the fourth quadrant, cos is positive. Now the first quadrant runs from 0 to 90. The second quadrant, 91 to 180. The third quadrant, 181 to 270. The fourth quadrant, 271 up to 360. Now we want the angles from the quadrant where the tan is positive. So tan is positive in the first and the third quadrant. Now according to the limit, we are just looking from 0 up to 180. So the third is not part of our answer. So we are just going to find one answer. That's why we are just finding 1. Then we can find the last question. So the last question is 9x squared minus 1 over 9x. So we are told to simplify. So from the numerator we can factorize. So we can factorize that one into different of 2 squares, because 9 can be written as 3 squared. So we have 3 squared x squared. 1 times 1, which is 1 squared, is the same, over this one. We can factorize this one by getting the common factor, which is 3. We divide 3 into 9x is 3x, plus 3 into 3 is 1. Okay, we can now proceed. Here we are going to write 2 brackets divided by 3x plus 1. So here we are going to say 3x here, plus minus 1. Now from this part here and this are the same, so we can cancel. Then the final answer is 3x minus 1 over 3 as our final answer. So this is what we can share for this video. Thanks for watching.